Damn, it really do be beautiful outside right now. But you know what it's not beautifuler than? It's not better beautifuler than you.
The worst tier 10 in my mind just became the top 1. Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're gonna take a look at what currently the best medium tank at tier 10 is, aka the FV4202. Simply by adding 10 kilometers per hour to its maximum speed, Wargaming just created the biggest threat to literally every single tank on the planet. Let me explain to you briefly in this video why. First, the engine. As you see, it climbed up from 50 kilometers per hour in the 8.1 update to 60 kilometers per hour in the 8.2. And trust me, 10 kilometers per hour as a buff is huge as hell, because now the FV4202 has the same mobility as a Leo 1, or at least close to it. On top of this, I would like to add, for those of you that are already owning the FV4202, or for those of you that are thinking about getting it, that this tank has something special when it comes to the gun, because its gun is not necessarily like the regular tank you have at tier 10. For example, when we take a look at Vickers Light, you see that you have heat as your gold shells, and you have more penetration with less average damage. When we take a look at the FV4202, it's the opposite. You have less penetration because you have between 200 and 220 millimeters, but you will inflict between 330 and 550 alpha damage, which, if we take a look at the overall gun, is completely broken due to its gun dispersion. 0.29, so one of the most accurate gun at tier 10 that features 440 alpha damage with its gold shell that have 210 millimeters of penetration. So yeah, we can say like this tank is about to become the #1 tank and possibly the most played of this update, simply over this. On top of that, I want to add that it has 10 degrees of gun depression, which makes it versatile. So overall, the FV4202 carries now a really great mobility, one of the best, if not the best gun at tier 10. On top of that, mounted on some cupola or turret that can bounce even if you shouldn't trust it too much, which implies that if we sum up the characteristics, we have an average armor, quite trollish if you want my opinion, if you angle it properly using your 10 degrees of gun depression, an amazing gun and an amazing mobility. But let's see how it renders in battle. For the OGs already using the FV4202, the playstyle didn't change at all. Wargaming just made it way more comfortable than it was before. Because back in the days with the FV4202, as you had a lower mobility than the other mediums, you struggle getting into position. Now it's not the case anymore, and with it, you are gonna have quite a lot of fun, and you're probably gonna arrive first before the Object 140s, before the T62As, before literally everything but the Leopard 1, which makes it so pleasant to play nowadays. And here you're gonna take a look at it. First, you see where I am right now. Just take a look at the map. You see that the Kranwagen is alone. We have the rest of the team that is going with me, and based on my mobility, I should have been able to spot whatever crosses on the other side of the map, and if there was a Grill 15 camping in the bush, I would have seen it by now, right? So I already have the information that the Kranwagen is alone. This is something you couldn't have done with the previous FV4202 because your mobility did not allow you to get there before the tank destroyers hide themselves, and therefore were not spottable. I don't know if that's the right word. But here, now that I have more information, I can play more comfortably my tank, and I can literally bully that Kranwagen that also received quite a huge nerf. And oh boy, is it pleasing for me to just destroy everything using my hash. And you're gonna see that we're gonna shoot a lot of hash with the FV4202 in this game. But you're gonna ask, hey Pantoufleee, if that tank received a huge buff like that, there must be a cons at playing it. And yes, the cons is that you are gonna lose a lot of credits. Because what's interesting and funny to do with this one is actually playing it with hash shells. Hash shells are gold shells, and hash are also the type of shells that is the most expensive in the game, because it's literally a combination between the penetration of an AP but the alpha damage of an HE, therefore the best shell you can get. I want to add also that the hash shell has more chances of damaging modules than any other shells, which implies that with this tank you're suitable even more to Amarak enemies, to put them on fire, etc., etc., or even kill crew members. So yeah, it comes with a price, and the price is around 3.6 thousand credits, if I'm not mistaken, per shot, which starts to get quite a lot when you miss. So yeah, you must be sure that you're not gonna miss with this tank. That being said, let's take a look at the playstyle. As you can see, I'm playing really comfortably. It's just insane what Wargaming did with this tank. I remember back in the days they struggled so much balancing it that every update they removed 10 kilometers per hour, added 10 kilometers per hour, all the way. It must have been and last for like maybe 2 or 3 updates or something like that. It was hilarious from the perspective of FV4202 players. But there is a huge con, not necessarily on the tank itself, but on what's gonna happen. Now that people are aware that this tank is completely broken, because most of the players already knew that, most of the YouTubers already did a video on how this tank was gonna be broken. And now YouTubers are also gonna do a video explaining that this tank is broken now that the tank is released. And oh boy, all I have to say is that they are not lying. This is the peak of British engineering, even on top, destroying the purpose of the Chieftain MK6 with its 110mm of penetration with HE, destroying everything. This thing right there is the tank you want to get if you are a good player and you're interested into having one of the funniest playstyles ever, because yeah, 440 alpha damage for around 6.5 seconds of reload. That hurts, because it means you have more than 4k average damage per minute. So yeah, in the end, what changes? Literally nothing. Everything is more comfortable playing with it. You want to do all down, peekaboo with it. You want also, maybe why not, side scrape, but don't trade too much. But overall, peekaboo from hilly terrains should do the job and should allow you to get a lot of good games like the one we just had here, featuring an ace tanker and 6.7k damage. Hopefully you enjoyed, guys. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and tell me in the comments if, to celebrate the fact that this tank just became broken again, Wargaming should implement in the 8.3 update, who knows, a legendary camouflage for it, because I'm really looking forward to it, especially if Wargaming doesn't change any statistics of the tank, because oh boy, are we gonna see quite a lot of FVs on the battlefield. See ya.